सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। वेदो नित्यमधीयतां तदुदितं कर्म स्वनुष्ठीयताम् तेनेशस्य विधीयतामपचितिः काम्ये मतिस्त्यज्यताम् पापौघः परिधूयतां भवसुखे दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम् आत्मेच्छा व्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम् संगः सत्सु विधीयतां भगवतो भक्तिर्दृढाधीयताम् शान्त्यादिः परिचीयतां दृढतरं कर्माशु सन्त्यज्यताम् सद्विद्वानुपसृप्यतां प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुका सेव्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यतां श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम् वाक्यार्थश्च विचार्यतां श्रुतिशिरः पक्षः समाश्रीयताम् दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यतां श्रुतिमतस्तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम् ब्रह्मास्मीति विभाव्यताम् अहरहर्गर्वः परित्यज्यताम् देहेऽहमिति रुज्यतां बुधजनैर्वादः परित्यज्यताम् क्षुद्व्याधिश्च चिकीत्स्यतां प्रतिदिनं भिक्षौषधं भुज्यताम् स्वाद्वन्नन्न तु याच्यतां विधिवशात् प्राप्तेन सन्तुष्यताम् शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतां न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपानैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम् एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयताम् पूर्णात्मा सुसमीक्ष्यतां जगदिदं तद्वादितं दृश्यताम् प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान्नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह भुज्यतामत परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम्। Okay. कर्माशु संत्यज्यतां प्रथमं वेदो नित्यमधीयतां तदनन्तरं कर्मस्वनुष्ठीयताम्। कर्मानुष्ठेन विहितकर्म प्राथमिकमेव अनुष्ठीयतां तेनेशस्य अपचितिः काम्ये मतिस्त्यज्यताम् ईशस्य विधीयतां कर्मः। कर्मः ईशे विधीयतां तत्र मनसा भावना ईश्वरचिन्तना अत्र प्रसादभावने अपि कर्मफल याच्यताम्। काम्येः मतिः त्यज्यतां विहितकर्म साधनचतुष्टय सिद्ध्यानन्तरं सत्संगं सुविधीयताम्. सत्संगात् भगवतस्य भक्तिः दृढा अधीयताम्. भगवन्नाम्ना भगवत संकीर्तन, भगवत पारायण, भगवत पूजा मनसा विचिन्त्य विचिन्त्य संगत सत्सु विधीयताम्. तत्र मनश्शान्तिः, चित्त एकाग्रता समाधीयताम्. पतंजलि मुनेः योगसूत्र अनुसारे यम नियमादि आसन प्राणायाम प्रत्याहार ध्यान धारणा समाधि कृत्वा मनस्समाधीयताम्. मनसः एकाग्रचित्त कृत्वा शान्त्यादि परिचीयताम्. मनश्शान्ति मनश्शान्ति समुच्चार्य तत्र कर्माशु संत्यज्यता. सर्वं काम्यकर्म, निष्कामकर्म, प्रायश्चित्त कर्मादि विहित कर्म समं संत्यज्यता. गृहस्थाश्रमे त्यक्त्वा वानप्रस्थे गम्यताम्. तत्र वानप्रस्थाश्रमे नित्य ध्यान आकर्ण्य मनः स्थिर दृढ़तरं कृत्वा सद्विद्वान् उपसृप्यताम्. कर्माशु संत्यक्त्वा विद्वानेव उपसृप्यताम्. संगः, सत्संगः, गुरुः उपसृप्यताम् च प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुका सेव्यताम्. So you understood what all we have done till now. So it is very easy and simple to talk in Sanskrit. So some words you should know, you should be able to tell. Okay. So after 1 minute, so many people have come in now. So after we have already achieved and we have decided that we will go to sannyasa ashrama, you need a guru. And it has to be a lively guru. He or she, there has to be a live guru so that we can do Shravanam. And how is Shravanam done? Systematic and consistent study of the Shastras for a period of time under the guidance of a able Acharya who is alive. So what happens is he will unfold the Shastram to you slowly after testing your eligibility sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. If there is some lacuna in that, he will first ask you to get yourself fully established in sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. There has to be at least, like you say, in a passing mark, 35%. You may not get 100%, but at least some 30-40% of sadhana chatushtaya should be there in all the various areas. Viveka, Vairagya. I can do everything, but I don't have Viveka. No, that will not work. So Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampattihi, Mumukshutvam, Yamas, Niyamas, all the various other attributes mentioned in the 13th chapter in the 18th chapter, there are many places it has been mentioned. So all these things, little by little, it will start improving. And the moment you start and you focus on one, and then you focus on the second, the first one is not lost. It has already become a habit, and that's how one supports the other. And anyonya ashrayatvena, you will see that suddenly there are big changes happening now. Earlier it will be very little, because you are putting effort. It is like this cycling. You have to put a lot of effort till you go to the top of the cliff. After that, just simply keep your leg on the pedal. People will feel you are speeding very fast. Actually, you are not doing anything. Just as it comes down, you are going in full speed. Like that, when you put effort in sadhana chatushtaya, after a point of time, that inertia itself will take you into a much different level then. And once you start valuing it and being in that, you will not want to come down. You will not want to come down from that level of sadhana chatushtaya. Because you are liking it and you are doing it. It is not out of a compulsion you are doing it. So once sadhana chatushtaya paripakvata happens, which is examined by the Guru, and he feels that now your mind is ready to unfold the main teaching of the Vedas, which is Brahmaikaksharam Artyatam. Correct? Sadvidwan Upasrupyatam Brahmaika Tat Paduka Sevyatam Brahmaikaksharam Artyatam. Correct. So, Brahma Eka Aksharam Artyatam. See, a very, very, very specific technical word here Acharya has used. Brahma Eva Eka Aksharam. Here don't consider Aksharam to be an alphabet. Naksharati iti Aksharaha, which does not get destroyed, further cannot be broken, which is the sum and substratum of everything. That, what is that Brahman? That Ekam Advitiyam Advaitam Shantam Shivam Brahmam Aksharam Nirgunam Niravayavam. What does that actually mean? He teaches you. So here Acharya has used the word Brahma Eka Aksharam Artyatam. It also means Atma Eka Aksharam Artyatam. Okay. And how does it go? It is in a very, very... See, that is why we said that you have to learn from a sampradaya with teacher. And when we say what is sampradaya with teacher, the sampradaya with teacher is not the teacher who knows a lot. No. Please understand. Sampradaya with teacher surely will know a lot. But knowledge can come by various ways. I can get knowledge by reading the book. I can get knowledge by simply listening to upanyasas. I can get knowledge by someone telling me discussion. There are many ways knowledge can come. But a teacher who has learned the sampradaya way is a sampradaya with teacher. And you have to learn from only sampradaya with teacher, because only in the sampradaya way you will understand this clearly. Otherwise, there are very high chances you will misunderstand it. If you misunderstand that, it doesn't matter if it is left only up to you. If you misunderstand it and if it is contained in you, doesn't matter. Okay, one more janma, you will probably understand it better. But what if you become a teacher and your misunderstood knowledge, you spread it? That is like spreading corona. Okay. So it is essential that a sampradaya with teacher needs to be there to learn this particular jnana. And what is Sampradaya teacher? A teacher who has learnt it from a Sampradaya teacher in a Sampradaya way. Okay? From that time you are telling Sampradaya, but what is this blessed Sampradaya? Sampradaya is, there is a technique of unfolding this knowledge to the student. There is a clear technique of unfolding this Vedantic knowledge to the student, and that technique of unfolding is what is called the Sampradaya way. That comes down, जैसा घरानों में it comes down from one teacher to the शागिर्द के पास, like that it comes down knowingly or unknowingly from the teacher to the student, and he becomes a teacher or she becomes a teacher, again the next student, like that, completely protecting that Sampradaya way. When it is unfolded, only then the right knowledge can come in. Okay? You will understand whether your knowledge is right or wrong only when you hear it from a Sampradaya with teacher, and when you have understood, that time you will say, oh, till now I thought it was like this. Okay? And when you say, till now I thought it was like this, means what? Till that moment you were thinking what you knew was right, which is asampradaya with. Do you understand this? So you yourself will never know, even if you understand it, you will never know whether that is the right unfolded knowledge you have or not.
One question.
Listen first. So once this particular method is used and the teacher completely unfolds this knowledge, and after that the student gets clarified with all the doubts, and then the student knows that no, this is the only way. Now I have understood it because this is the only way to teach. I will tell you one thing. How do you know whether you have the right knowledge you want to know? Easiest way is catch hold of someone and start explaining to them what Atma is. And if you fumble, then you will come to know that I understand it, but I do not have that Sampradaya technique of transferring this knowledge to the other person. Do you understand? It is not the question of understanding. If you understood it properly, then you should have been able to explain it also to the other person. I am explaining, but I am fumbling somewhere. I feel there is something not correct. I am not able to get it properly. That means even if you have the knowledge, you have not used the right technique of step-by-step unfolding. For yoga teachers, you will know. Have you to follow the steps to come to the Antim Sthiti, or without the steps also many can come to Antim Sthiti? What is the difference between step by step coming to Antim Sthiti and somehow coming to Antim Sthiti? If you know to come to the Antim Sthiti very properly, but you cannot teach someone, that means what is it? You are not following the steps yourself. Are you able to get that? That is Sampradaya teaching. Step by step unfolding. You can't change the step also. You have to first unfold something, then you have to unfold the other part, then you have to unfold the other part, and that's how when it gets connected, you say, wow, now I understood. Until everything gets unfolded, you will never be able to understand what you are learning actually. Because it is like a flower. Many flowers are there, and later on at one point of time, suddenly the whole thing really makes sense. And that is that Sampradaya with way of learning. So it is very, very essential that a person who is just logical, knowledgeable, has a very good English or any other language, can understand Sanskrit words, big Pandita, because the Shastras and Upanishad very clearly says that your Laukika knowledge of Panini grammar is useless in Atma Vidya. Is useless. Because that Laukika knowledge will only tell you what is not Atma. You use that for understanding what is not Atma. Okay? And to really understand these things, you will have to listen from Sampradaya teachers only. Then you understand ki nahi. It is so subtle that this gross mind and this gross technique of unfolding will not work. It has to be much more refined and fine-tuned, and the conviction, unless it has come that this is the topic, this is the way it has to be unfolded, there is no other way which it can be unfolded, only then that transformation of knowledge from the Shastras through the teacher will go into the student. It is not teacher's knowledge coming to the student. Be very clear about it. It is Shastra being unfolded by the teacher very systematically to the student, and that is where the student gets complete freedom to challenge the teacher also if something is ashastrik. If something is not as per the Shastra, the student will challenge the teacher. And that is where the teacher will have to really go back. And these are examples in the Upanishad itself. The teacher says, okay, me and you, let us both together go and learn. I know only so much. My teacher has taught me only so much. You are asking me something which is out of syllabus for me also. So you also have the query. Now you have instilled that query in me also. Let both of us go to a Sampradaya with teacher and learn it. Okay, and this is what is that learning called Sampradaya learning. If this is clear, then you can ask me questions. Yes, Shama, what is a question you have?
No, thank you. I will let it pass now. I'll let it pass.
Okay, note it and keep. Okay. So this Sampradaya way of learning. And what is this Sampradaya way? Now we will see how is this, see what is the subject matter here? What needs to be taught? Correct. What is Atma? Brahmaikaksharam arthyatam. So the subject matter is Brahman or Atma. Now it has to be unfolded by the teacher using the Shastras in a proper method, which has to be heard by the student with a complete focused mind, and he has to do or she has to grahanam of that words, take it in, understand based on what knowledge he or she has, churn that, come out with questions, get it clarified, and make it very clear what that learning is. Now this is the activity which needs to be done, for which the teacher will first always start with Tvam. Always the teacher will start with Tvam Pada, Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. See, now you understand how the Sampradaya with ways. Suppose you start with Tat, you will get stuck. You will always start with Tvam. Tvam Pada Vachyartha, Tvam Pada Lakshyartha. How is this Tvam Pada Vachyartha, Tvam Pada Lakshyartha understood? The student knows Tvam Pada Vachyartha because the student experiences day in and day out Tvam Pada Vachyartha, which is Dehabhimanam. Are we able to clearly understand what is this? Correct? Is there any doubt in this? Then the teacher uses a beautiful technique to go from Tvam Pada Vachyartha to Tvam Pada Lakshyartha. And that technique is called Anvaya Vyatireka technique. See, See, if you don't use these techniques, then that knowledge will not get transferred properly. And what is Anvaya Vyatireka technique which the teacher uses? That is why you have to go to the teacher. The book will not do this. You will have to go to the teacher. The teacher, based on your understanding, will use to go from Tvampada Vachyartha to Lakshyartha using Anvaya Vyatireka technique. And Anvaya Vyatireka technique is Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam Yad Abhave Tad Abhavam Tat Tadeva Tadasya Karanam. That is a technique. Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam Yad Abhave Tad Abhavam. Okay. Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam Yad Abhave Tad Abhavam Tadeva Tasya Karanam. What is the meaning of that? Tasya Karanam. By presence of what this gets established, and by the absence of which it cannot get established. Hence, that is the reason or the cause for the result. Explanation is worse than the statement. Correct? This, see, if a Laukika rule itself is tough, it is a simple rule. If this itself is like a googly, then how will Brahman be? Correct? Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam. Okay, let us make it simple. It is a very simple technique and you will know it. For example, I am making a statement. Electricity is the reason for the bulb to glow. You will say, that is correct. How do you prove it? Because our rational mind will ask for proof. You cannot just take anything, and our Shastras are that way. You have to learn, understand it, because without understanding, if you have just by-hearted it and accepted it at the face value, for a feel-good factor that poor teacher has been just shouting from that time, so many classes he has taken, and I have asked at least 10 times the question. Now at least I should say yes. Even though I don't understand, let me tell yes. He will feel good. Will not work. Will not work. Why? Teacher would have gone already to the next student now. What happens to you when Mananam comes? When Mananam comes, the rational, you will throw it immediately out of the window. All this is okay. I said okay for the teacher. Let me now search another teacher to understand what he has taught. You understand? That is what it is. Because you have to clearly prove it to that rational mind, which looks, and when we say prove it, we are not talking about scientific proofs here. How does one particular aspect become very clear? Tell me, what are the 3 lingas which are required for that? I have already told this many a times. How do you establish whatever you say is correct? How do you establish it as per the Shastras? What are the lingas for it? Even if you try the whole day, you will not get it, I am sure.
If there is a fire, if there is a smoke.
I am asking 3 technical words. I am asking 3 technical words which I have taught. That is why this Sampradaya with learning is very clearly you will have to unfold it that way only. No other way will work. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava. There has to be a Shruti Pramanam, there has to be somewhere it is written, somewhere it is told. Suppose someone says, oh, this is Newton's law of motion. First question you will ask, who told you? Immediately you will say, Arey, you open the 8th standard book, see it is written in that. You go to any physics book, Arey, it is written in that. He has proved it. See, he has used all these things. That time you say, oh, acha, aisa hai kya? ठीक है, then if someone has proved it, I will not break my head, I will also accept it. Like all our students in yoga, they will say, ना हाँ ठीक है आप लोग बोल रहे तो ठीक है हम मान के करेंगे. We will not challenge it. That is the right way. Because initially you have to accept what is just given. And you cannot be just challenging everything because you will not move ahead. If you keep challenging everything including the teacher and including the Shastra, you cannot move ahead, right? Then the question is, have you come to challenge or have you come to learn? If you have come to learn, then that is meaning. If you have come to challenge, then this technique and all is not required. Then it is a debate. There is another way to for it. If you have come tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha tad vijnanartam sa gurumeva bigachet samitpanim shrotriyam brahmanishtaha. When you come, that teach me, unless that ego is subdued, if you keep challenging everything what the Guru says and the Shastra says, the Guru first of all will not teach, and that is where he will use the time for Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti to check. Only when you are ready, that Patrata, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti is like preparing the ground before sowing the seed. If it has got all the kachra in it, even if it requires, they will burn. If weeding out is not possible, they will burn it off. Without that, they will not put the next seed. Why? That seed will not grow. Correct? So the Guru has to put the seed. The preparation of the ground is to be made, which means now you are a student who has submitted. If the ground is ready, then the question of, very clearly this question will never come, where is it written? Why? You have already got Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Guru Vedanta Vakyadeshu Vishwasa Shraddha. So there is no question of challenging that. You will maximum ask, okay, where, in which Shruti, what is the reference number, you tell me. Yes. So that it is easy for me to, okay, it is written in Chandogya Upanishad 453, something. I am just giving some number. So what happens? You know a reference. So that is Shruti Pramanam. Where is it written? Now, is it enough if Shruti simply says that? Don't you need to have a yukti or a logic to it? It has to logically fit. What will happen, suppose if I tell, let us go by the logic. Let us go by the logic of generally what the people who do not know the Shastras, they will generally say, I don't believe in all these things. Is of all this, I accept God is a power, all that is fine. But ye puja uja and all that, you be good, that is it. Just be good to everyone, and that's it. And whatever is there, that is what it is. Ye adrishtam, vidrishtam, I don't know. Agla janam, purana janam, all this is not there. Okay? As per your Shastra, that is correct. Perfect, okay. Now, when the question comes of yukti, when there is a downtime, one after the other, prarabdham starts hitting, problems start coming at home. Where did your Shastra go? Where did that Shastra go? You take any person anywhere in the world, will get mentally so disturbed, emotionally so disturbed. If anything happens to them also, they are not worried, but anything happens to the near and dear ones, enough. Completely disturbed. Why are you getting disturbed? If you are that atheist and you believe nothing is there, for surely your logic says you are born one day, you are going to die one day, so are the others, so they will die one day. Na? Why are you getting disturbed for it? Are we able to get this? So, now what is the difference between a person who knows Shastra and a person who does not know Shastra? For both, the situation is going to be the same. Death, worry, all these are going to be there for both. But what is the mental outlook of a person who knows the Shastra? He will say, yes, anyway the Shastras has told that asti jayate vardate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati iti shad vikaravate etasthula shariram aham jivosmi natu dehosmi aham brahmasmi natu jivosmi. Then why am I so disturbed about this? Compared to the other person who says, okay, I'm not sure, but then I don't know, I'm not feeling very good about it. I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm very disturbed about it. Are we able to get this difference? So, if you do not have a logical answer, because Anubhava will push you to logical answer. Tell me, I will ask a question, and if someone gives an answer to this question which is correct, I will stop taking the class. Full guarantee on that. Whenever any person gets an ailment, today's situation, let us take Corona only. Whenever you hear so and so person has got COVID, what is the first question which comes? How did he get it? How? From where did he contract it? Can anyone be for sure and tell that this is the source from where he has contracted or she has contracted? If you can tell me for sure and there is no other source, then I will stop teaching. Don't we see such a baseless question it is? Okay, it has come, what to do, you have to do. From where it has come after knowing? By knowing it, is there a benefit? No. By not knowing it, have you lost something? No. Then why should you know it? The only thing is you have to take care of it. By knowing this, and forget Corona, including 2 times the child sneezes at home, everything starts. कल फ्रिज से पानी पिया था क्या, ये किया था क्या, ठंडा खाया था क्या, वो किया था क्या? Do you understand what is happening now? That means what? All the knowledge of asti jayate vardate viparinamate is gone off. From Jivatma back to Dehatma. Are we getting it? So Sadhana Chatushtaya is not working. We are not saying that we should ignore it. Huh? No. Don't mistake that we should ignore it. What we have to do, we have to take care of it. We have to do further medication. You have to take rest or whatever needs to be done, that has to be done. But from where did you get it? This has never worked in anyone's house unless it's a chronic problem for the child. That is a real poison and the child suffers. The child decides to leave. No one can stop it. Yet every time, whenever the child gets all this question, the same Ramayana, I told you 100 times not to touch that, as though you are so sure that that is only the source from where it has come. It can be a probable source, but it cannot be the only source. That is that Maya. That is Maya Karyam. It will keep doing it. Are we able to get this? Right? Hence, for all the Nastikas, logic will have to end at a point from where they will have to accept that I don't know further from that. And whatever we don't know, only the Shastras bring it to us through the text. The Shastra never tells you eat from your mouth, you breathe from your nose. The Shastra never tells that, because that is, even if the Shastra doesn't tell, you will do only that. Why human beings? Even animals do that only, na? Which Shastra they know? Which Shastra has taught them that they have to eat from the mouth? Taking care of one's own child, which Shastra has taught? No. It is a basic necessity which will continue to happen even without any Shastra telling you. So Shastra will only talk of Adrishtam, which is unseen, but still it is there. And this is what gets mixed. Now the next problem is, we are all very scientific. For everything we believe that some scientific answer should be there. And for all the science, you never try to look at that there should be a Shastric answer to it. How many times you have asked science a question, is there a Shastric answer to this? No, na? Never, na? If science tells something, have you say, oh, where does the Shastra has actually told this to you? Let me challenge it by Shastra. But any of the Shastra, you are very happy to challenge it using science. Both are mutually independent. If you get, because Shastram deals with Adrishtam, science deals with Drishtam. Science deals only with Drishtam, including Atma, Paramatma, consciousness is not there in that dictionary of science. Huh? Are we able to get that? Right? So we cannot challenge it that way. So all what we keep doing is just doubting our own Shraddha. Learn the Shastra from the teacher and just follow it, implicitly follow it. Have that faith and follow it. Right? So once the teacher opens out Tvampada Vachyartha and Tvampada Lakshyartha, you will use Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava, your experience, to corroborate what the teacher has told. And once all the three ticks, then you will tell the teacher, yes, what you are telling is right. Yes. Correct? Because the teacher has also done the same thing with his or her teacher. They were also students, right? Sampradaya with learning, nothing different. Are we able to get this? So first, you will always check with Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava of the first part which the teacher unfolds, which is Tvampada Vachyartha to Lakshyartha, and there we are using that particular Nyayam called Anvaya Vyatireka Nyayam. Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam, Yad Abhave Tad Abhavam, Tadeva Tasya Karanam. The presence of it ensures the result. The absence of it ensures that there is no result. Hence, that particular thing is the cause for this result. Presence of electricity ensures the bulb glows. Absence of electricity ensures the bulb does not glow. Hence, electricity is the reason for the bulb to glow. Are you getting this? A simple logic. Yat sattve tat sattvam. Yad abhave tad abhavam. Tadeva tasya karanam. Why is this being told? You will say, till now you have been talking of some cock and bull story. ये किसके लिए बोल रहे हो? And the topic is Brahmaikaksharam Arthyatam. For understanding Brahma, there is a technique of unfolding it. The technique of unfolding is, first is Tvampada Vachyartaha, Tvampada Lakshyartaha, Tvampada Vicharaha, and Tvampada Vachyartaha to Lakshyartaha is done by Anvaya Vyatireka technique. I always thought I am the reason for something. When I say I, me, this Sthula Shariram, this Sukshma Shariram, this Karana Shariram with Atma, all put together, either Jivatma or Dehatma is what I consider me to be. Who am I? I am this. Correct? And then the teacher says, okay, let us apply Anvaya Vyatireka technique. Without the body, do you exist?
What is the word meaning of Advaya and Vyatireka?
Anvaya means conjunction, Vyatireka means dissociation. Prove and disprove. Anvaya, to get the right meaning, Vyatireka is the opposite one. So, to prove a concept and disprove a concept, both. In short, it is called Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Bhagatyaga. So, this me, I start breaking. Who am I? I start now breaking. What I considered myself as to be an entity, I am I. Slowly the teacher teaches that you, I means Sthula Shariraha, Sukshma Shariraha, Karana Shariraha, Atma. All this put together is what you are. So are you the Sthula Sharira? You will say Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam, Yad Abhave Punarjanmaha. I still continue. He says, you are the Sukshma Shariram. Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam. In all Janmas I am there. But in the next Kalpa, I change. Oh, okay. You are the Karana Shariram. Yat Sattve Tat Sattvam. I am there in all the Janmas. But when Jnanam comes, even that is gone. So, are you the Karana Shariram? No. So, I am not the Sthula Shariram. Neti. I am not the Sukshma Shariram. Neti. I am not the Karana Shariram. Neti. Then who are you? Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirad Vyatiriktaha. Now you understand what is Anvaya Vyatireka technique. Is there? I am there. Not there? I am not there. Tadeva Tasya Karanam. Anything you apply, it will not work other than you applying the word Atma. If Atma is present, I am present. If Atma is absent, I am absent. The rest, everything are superficial now. So I have broken myself, which I was considering to be a single entity, into 3 perishable and 1 imperishable. That one which can go across the 3 perishable and make it alive, which erroneously tells me that that is what which is alive. My deha, because it grows, I feel erroneously that is alive. Because it pains, I feel erroneously that is alive. Are we able to get this? So Tvampada Vicharaha is the first thing which is taught. Then same thing can get extended as Panchakosha Vivekaha, Avasthatraya Vivekaha. Are you able to get this? If Tattvabodha is Pakka, you will get all this. If you have doubts on all this, go back to Tattvabodha. I am not going to explain. Correct? So this particular aspect of Tvampada Vicharaha is done by Anvaya Vyatireka technique.
Sir, here Tasya refers to Brahman.
Here it's a general rule. We use this rule to establish Brahman. This I told the rule for electricity also. Tat tasya karanam. Tad is electricity. Tasya is bulb. Karanam, or glowing of the bulb. So electricity, and so whatever you take 2 aspects, how do you know which is the cause and which is not the cause? Presence of it makes it happen. Absence of it does not make it happen. Hence, whatever is present is the reason for what is happening. It's a simple rule. Are we able to get it like that? So it has nothing to do with Brahman. We are using the rule in ourselves to establish that there is one Chetana Vastu called Atma, to give it a name called Atma, which in the absence of it, nothing works. In the presence of it, everything works. Tadeva tasya karanam. So that is the only primary, independent, established stuff. The rest everything are dependent on it. Are we getting it? If you get it, good. If you don't get it, do some more sadhana chatushtaya, you will get it. I am not told anything new other than Tattva Bodha, first paragraph of Tvapada Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. Okay.
Got it, sir.
For this, the way, the method of opening is what here we are explaining. We have already learnt it. I am not teaching you Tvapada Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. But that method is used using Anvaya Vyatireka technique to establish that. Then the student gets established, oh yes, what you are saying is correct. I am not this gross body, I am not this, because whenever I use this word I, based on the context, I change the meaning of it. I am fat. Oh, the context is body size. Here I mean Sthula Sharira. I am in a bad mood. It is not body in a bad mood. Here now you are referring to mind. So you have done Bhagatyaga by yourself. And every time you use the word I. And when we learn to say that my mind is in a stale situation, my body has become overweight, that means I, the owner, having this vehicle, the vehicle not working properly, needs to go and get itself overhauled and come back. The vehicle has to become overhauled and come back. So then you will start working with the vehicle. Otherwise you are owning the vehicle means there is a problem now. क्योंकि उस पे कुछ करने नहीं दोगे. My body, no, I will protect it by not doing anything. The moment you say that I am the driver of this body and I have to keep it fit, then you will do everything with it. So Dehatma Buddhi goes with that.
It means unbear means Satya. Unbear means Satya.
I can't hear you at all clearly.
Huh?
I can't hear you.
Anvaya means unvaya, which is not getting disturbed. Satya. And Vyatirek is its effect.
Yeah. Cause and defect theory it is basically. You, instead of bundling as one, you call it as cause effect theory, you call it as clarity and removing, weeding out, whichever way you can call it. But it clearly establishes the relationship of what is the true cause and weeds out all the other thought which we have, which we believe as the cause. Okay. That is that Anvaya Vyatireka technique. It's a simple technique and we use it. So don't get bothered about that technique per se and get into that grammar and get into, no. That Shastra of Anvaya Vyatireka coming into Nyaya Vaisheshika, we'll learn it later. But this is what the technique is used. Okay. Now we have understood that when I say Tvam essentially means that Chit, which is in me and which I understand without anyone teaching me. Yes or no? I understand that consciousness in me and I don't need someone to tell me about my knowledge of consciousness, which I know for it, which I don't need any of these instruments like Karmendriya, Jnanendriya or anything is not required. I still know it is there. Correct? And this is the knowledge of Tvam. So what is Tvam? Tvam has become Stula Sukshma Karana Vyatirikta Avasthatraya Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupasan Yas Tishtati Sa Atma equal to Tvam. That is the Lakshyartha. Obviously the Vachyartha was what? Tvam. Like all of you all are sitting in front of me. Tvam. You. That is the Vachyartha, right? Word meaning. What is the Lakshyartha? Not these bodies which are sitting in front of me, but that Atma which is there, all pervading within me and within everything, and that which is there in you and which is there in me, which I understand, equal to Tvam. Are we able to get this? Clear? So we use the Anvayam Vyatireka technique to understand Tvam Pada Vicharaha. Correct? Then the teacher says, now you have understood yourself. Very good. You have no doubt about yourself? No doubt. Clearly I understand what it is. Very good. Now let us do one thing. Let us understand what the Prapancha is and what is Tat. So that when you say, if it is Prapancha or Ishvara, whatever name you want you give, you will start saying very colorful, very beautiful, so many multiples of things in it, made up of so many things. I can't even imagine. There are so many things yet to come. All that started one day in a big bang and then it came till today. Then now that I-10, I-11, I-50, I-100, everything is going to come out one day. Wow, so many varieties, so many multiplicity. Fantastic thing. And that becomes Tatpada Vachyartaha. If all these are getting Greek and Latin, I can see faces sleeping, which only means Tattvabodha is gone. Time to open that and read it again. And then the teacher goes to say a new technique there. Tatpada, Tvam-pada, Lakshyartha, from Vachyartha to Lakshyartha you use which Nyayam? Anvaya Vyatireka Nyayam. From Tatpada Vachyartha to Tatpada Lakshyartha, another Nyayam is used. See, now you understand where that Sampradaya with, when we say how it is coming out, unfolding. See, all this were not told to you till today, but still you understood because they were used. Knowingly, unknowingly to you, but knowingly to the teacher has actually used it, and that is why you know it today. Correct? Now, Tatpada Lakshyartha is understood by Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya. Have you heard this Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya? Does anyone remember Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya?
Snake and rope.
What? Snake and rope what? What is Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya?
Learning my
I'm
When you superimpose the imagination and consider it to be a reality. Like on rope, we superimpose the snake and consider it to be the real snake.
So how do you use the Nyaya?
Superimposition trick is.
That is anyway happening without you doing it, right? Tell me one thing, did anyone put effort to superimpose a imaginary snake into a real rope, or it just happened?
It happened with the removal of ignorance.
No. It happened, or you put effort?
Removal of ignorance means even
We are not.
enlightenment.
Be with the topic. Be with the topic. This particular superimposition, did it happen by itself, or you had to learn? Oh, let me go and learn some shastras, then I will understand superimposition of the snake onto the rope. Or even a complete ignorant, illiterate person also experiences this.
It happened.
It happened.
Exactly. So when it
Like we
happens,
give the example of spiders to understand some quality of the Brahman. So even that is superimposing it.
Thamba, kidhar ja rahe ho? I'm taking you somewhere else. You all are don't explain Brahman using this. The idea is, when you say that superimposition is adhyaropa apavada, I am saying that superimposition happens naturally. Correct? Where do you need to put an effort?
To remove
To understand it's a superimposition, not
to
removal.
understand. Yes.
I am ignorant that I have superimposed and made a sandwich and given as one single thing. Now I need to put an effort to again break that and say that I have superimposed an imaginary snake onto a real rope and considered these two together as a single entity which is alive. Correct? An imaginary snake's life has been superimposed onto a dead rope and have made the rope alive as though it's a snake. Oh, how many things we did? Huh? Are you able to get that? We did all this gadbad very coolly and ignorantly, effortlessly. Now where is the effort required? The effort is required to understand that I have done an adhyaropaha and I have to do apavada of it. Okay, the effort is required to remove this wrong knowledge of superimposition, and that is where this nyaya of adhyaropa apavada comes. Okay, you never superimpose or you never do things with effort. If there is an effort required, you will not do it at all. Now you are happy without doing it, correct? If it is happening naturally without an effort, but then you will have to put effort if that is a wrong thing to undo it. Correct? And for that this nyayam comes. Adhyaropa apavada nyaya. Now what is adhyaropa apavada nyaya? Here it goes through two stages. The first stage is everything in this universe, you will have to break it down using Anvaya Vyatireka technique to understand which is the substance of all the universe. When I use technical words, everything starts going bumper. Suppose I tell you I have to apply my brain on the light and then see that there is only one rope which is the substratum for all the different snakes which I can imagine on it. That means I have zeroed down to that rope which is the sum and substratum for all the snakes which I am superimposing whenever I want. Yes or no? No. Yes. I never knew that my lecture is so boring कि all have gone to sleep. एक दिन टेक्निकल गया तो कितना होता है देखो, बट विदाउट नाउ seriously you will have to get into it. It is no more superficial, because unless you understand the technique you will not be able to take it ahead, right? How did you do that is also you should understand. I did that is fine. I nicely removed the superimposed snake out. What did you do there? For the whole Srishti, there is, like what I did for Tvam, I will have to eliminate, come to Pancha Mahabhutas, eliminate them, and then say Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutaha. So from Atma only Akasha comes, from Akasha Vayu comes. So like that I go back and say that one cause has got so many effects. Correct? Right? Now, world equal to one cause plus many effects equal to world. Yes or no? And I know by your this Nyayam, what is that? Which is this? Anvaya Vyatireka Nyaya. By Anvaya Vyatireka Nyaya, I know that one substratum on which the whole world is there. Because when I keep going back, it will come to something from where everything started, right? So that one cause is there. So I am ready to drop everything. Okay. But before going to that, I first see the same cause present in everything. Correct? Because without that it will not be. The moment I say, for example, think about it. A rope is made up of threads. Threads are the cause for a rope. Yes or no? Correct or wrong? Okay. Metal is the cause for a murti. Yes or no? Correct. Now if I keep seeing so many multiplicity in the whole world, and if I have no connection between rope and metal, then what will happen? That means there are multiple millions of causes and every cause is giving one effect. Correct? Every cause is giving one effect. Right? Now, what will I end up saying? That there are millions of Atmas and they are creating millions of effects, which is called the world. And one of that effect is me, and I have one Atma. Are you able to get this? But when I start looking that this rope is made up of the thread is made up of fiber, the fiber is made up of cotton, the cotton is made up of, keep doing, finally you will come to an atom. The metal also has got an atom. Are we able to see? You will have to come and then you say the metal exists, the rope exists. So existence is the common fabric on which both are there now. The Shastra will have to take you slowly into that, otherwise it becomes very, very nice to say that, yes, I have removed off all these things. It is very, that snake and rope, when you say, you have millions of ropes and millions of snakes on it, not one. Each thing what I see in this Vishwam is a rope and snake. And if you start considering I have millions of ropes, you will have to somewhere come to say that all these ropes are one rope. Are we getting it? Otherwise I have a problem now. because I have only broken it, but I'm struggling with the same problem of multiplicity. And only when it starts unifying, this will go off. Why? The more are there, the more it doesn't talk of reality, because that cannot be the literal cause, because Shruti will do virodha of it. Think about it. Your Yukti will start doing virodha of it. Anubhava tells that fine, but Yukti and Shruti will start fighting against that. Shrutis will not come to that. Now, how do I look at Shruti, what it is telling, and align my Yukti and Anubhava? That means from one only many have come. So when I can trace back, it is like this. If I see a person who has newly come to my building, and then he says, oh, I am from this particular gav, is gav ka hu main. You say, I am maybe is gav ka hu. Then who is your father, my father, all this will continue. And then you will say, oh, actually 5 generations back, your father and my great grandfather were brothers, sisters. Yes or no? Why did you ask all this? Because somewhere you wanted one connection with yourself. For that you asked all the question. Huh? You didn't simply ask. See, the moment he says, ye gav ka hai, then you will ask, kaun sa ghar hai? Us khet ka baaju mein hai kya? All that, why that question? You want to somehow connect to you. From one source, you want that single source from which you are able to see that logical trailing. What is the problem if they were another and they were another? Okay, now forget that. Suppose it comes tomorrow to Gotra. The Gotra principle is based on that the forefathers would have been one only. Correct? So even if you don't know, you'll say, oh, we are brothers and sisters. That means you have already connected there in the Gotra system. Yes or no? So every person, when they ask a question, they want to connect with I, that other thing. That is the innate nature of asking so many questions. ईरान ने इराक पे बॉम्ब डाला. You will say, तो मैं क्या करूं? There is no connection to me. But tomorrow if we say that petrol का दाम बढ़ जाएगा, now I am connected to petrol, Iran-Iraq is connected to petrol, that petrol becomes a common link between me and Iran-Iraq, now I am concerned about it. Yes or no? Correct? So when we see multiplicity in the universe, you finally want it to get connected to you. That is why so many queries are there. And you will always try to track it to that single cause by Anvaya Vyatireka and say that is that cause. Now I have one cause for me by Anvaya Vyatireka. I have one cause for the universe by Anvaya Vyatireka. So I have reduced the whole universe that one cause is there in everything. If one cause is there in everything, everything cannot be multiple effect, it is one effect only. It is manifestation of that one cause into various things. The water gets manifested as a wave, the water got manifested as a bubble, the water got manifested as a ice, whatever you want you say. But it was that one water only, which is that common thread which got manifested differently. So once you come to that single cause and the rest being effect, I am ready to drop the effect. Why? The effect depends upon cause. Can the effect live without the cause? Clear? Are you getting the point clearly? Now if there is only one cause, then where is a fight? There is only one, no? For the universe there is one cause. In me there is one cause. Yes or no? Reducing all the effects and connecting it to one cause is called adhyaropa. All the cause effects have got one cause is called adhyaropa. Then what happens to the relationship between cause and effect? If there is one cause creating so many effects, the effects are parchai, na? I can drop them because they are dependent on the cause. Your objective is to go to that main link. So I'm ready to drop all the effects and catch that one cause. If one cause is only there, then is there cause and effect? Isn't this looking confusing now? What did I do? I saw multiple effects. For every effect, I came to that cause. Then I saw that all the causes are converging into one cause. That means this one cause is creating multiple effects. Clear?
Sir,
No questions. If this point is not clear, tell me. No next question. I want everyone to go through this very sequentially. You will get it first. If this point is not clear, ask me the question. Don't ask me new question now. Multiple effects, each effect going towards one cause. Clear? That is possible. You can imagine it. Right. Now, when I have one cause giving multiple, like one sun giving multiple rays, that light which falls in US, that light which falls in India, we both call it as sun's rays separately. But coming from the one sun, both can track it back to that one sun. Yes or no? Now the moment an American is going to talk of that sun which I am seeing as the same sun, will I be interested in the light or the sun? Why should I want the light? I am going to the cost now, na? You be with the context. The light is anyway there. I am not interested in the light. I want to know the source of light. So the American sees the sun as the source of the light. I also see the sun as the source of light. Although the rays are many, it has come to various places. Everyone sees the same source as sun. And all have looked at the sun. Correct? Now if all are focusing on the sun, what happened to the Indian, American, South African? Do they exist or do they not exist?
Exist.
Huh?
Exist.
How can they exist?
Exist.
How can they exist? Manifestation of that cause into the effect is what you are, correct? When you have gone to the cause, okay, let me put it the other way. I have got milk giving me curd, from curd giving butter, butter giving ghee. Once I have got the ghee, will you look at the milk? Do you need to look at the milk?
No.
Why were you looking at the milk? To get the water out of it or to get the ghee out of it? Be with the context. Don't go to Vyavahara again. We are referring to Brahman as a single cause. We are going in that direction. Correct? So once you have already gone to that sun, the others don't exist. The whole world is being reduced to one cause. World is a superimposition as multiple on one cause. Yes or no? World becomes multiple snakes on one rope, which is called Brahman. Are you able to get it? Okay. Now that we have reduced the whole world into only one effect, all multiple effects which I bundle it as one effect and one cause called the Brahman, can the effect be present without the cause? Can the effect exist without the cause? So the cause is dependent, independent, or the effect is dependent, independent?
Effect is dependent on the cause.
Effect is dependent, the cause is independent. Correct?
Correct.
So whatever is dependent does not have an existence as per us, as per the theory. So I can drop it very easily like a hot potato. So I drop the whole world and hold on to one Brahman, which is the cause. Correct? Now tell me, when I am holding to Brahman, which is only one, is there something called cause and effect? That is where the apavada comes, huh? Till now, adhyaropa we were doing, considering all the effect coming to one cause. Now I am going to do apavada of it. Till now, your mind I have nicely diverted into cause effect, cause effect, cause effect. You have converged everyone to Brahman and said that the rest, everything is the effect, Brahman is the cause. The rest, everything is superimposed on Brahman. I will say correct. So, do they have an existence? Do they have a satta?
Effect.
Huh?
What is the effect?
They are-
Whatever we are seeing, whatever we are seeing is the effect.
Then you will always be in this Laukika seeing. The whole idea is, if you are comfortable seeing what you are seeing, then Vedanta is not required. Or philosophy is not required. See, understand, you have to move ahead, right? The fact that I am not comfortable seeing what I am seeing is what I am trying to go at the cause which I am not able to see. And that is what the Shastra is opening out and telling, that Brahman is the cause, everything else is the effect. And that I agree. The effect does not have a independent existence because it depends on the cause. Correct? My shadow depends on me. Will I give a value to my shadow? Logically, no. I can throw away the shadow the moment I have caught myself first. See, normally you track a person from a shadow, but once you have come to that person, from the head you have come to the leg, and then from the leg you have seen that person now standing, will you continue to see the shadow? See, when you track a person, you start with the shadow, right? You hold on the shadow and then you suddenly go. It is like, it happens in a fraction, but that is how we track. The moment, "Arey, udhar kya hai? Dikh raha hai black." Then you suddenly go, you understand this is the object. Once the object comes to, are you interested in the shadow? No. Shadow is already thrown away like a hot potato, right? Now, once Brahman has come, the world has been thrown as a hot potato. Correct? What is the status I have given to Brahman? It is that single cause from which the whole universe has come. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
I have dropped the universe because it is dependent and I have no value for it. I have held on to Brahman because that is the cause of everything. Jagat Karanam Brahma. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
Now, how many things are actually there in your hand? How many you have held? Loudly, tell me loudly. Only Brahman, correct? Only Brahman. When there is only Brahman, where can there be cause and effect? That, oh Pachane. When there is only Brahman, where is cause and effect? With one thing, for cause and effect, you need two things at least. Minimum two. You have comfortably come to that one Brahman, then where is cause and effect? Correct? Akarta, Abhokta, Brahman is only there now. That Brahman never created anything, never manifested everything, nothing happened. The Jagat, what I see is my dream as a Maya Jal which I am seeing now. Unless you come to this part, the third part is tougher. We have done Tvampada, Vachyartha, Lakshyartha, Tvampada, Vachyartha, Lakshyartha by Anvaya Vyatireka Nyaya. We are doing Tatpada, Vachyartha, Lakshyartha by Adhyaropa, Apavada Nyaya. And now, so, in cooking what you do? You first cut the vegetables, all that, make something ready. Then you will make a puree and all that, make that ready. So now I have 4 things ready. Correct? Everything is cooking, huh? Can you do ulta sulta? No. There is a proper way. Pahla ek tayar rakhne ka, fir dusra tayar rakhne ka, and then the grand finale will come. You will put all that together and then heat it, and then finally one thing will come out. Yes or no? Exactly like that. I did Tvampada Vachyartha and Lakshyartha, few things ready for my cooking. Tatpada Vachyartha, Lakshyartha, another thing ready for cooking. So in this one pot I have got my Atman, on the other pot I have got one Brahman. Are you able to get that? Kaisa dhire, dhire, dhire. This is called Sampradaya way of discovering. Huh? You try suddenly, no, me and Brahman are only one. After so many days of hearing also, today there is an issue to accept it. Please understand, if it is not unfolded this way, you will never be able to learn it or tell someone else this is the way it is. How much ever we believe that we know what we know, it has to get communicated in that particular way, then only you have to unfold it that way. Okay. And last comes Asi, that and this are no different. So it can be one small Atma and one Parabrahman. And for that we use the Shastras, how it defines Atma and Brahman. How does Shastra define Atma and Brahman? It gives the same definition and explanation. Consciousness is not a part property. If you remember all the 5, Shastra defines it that way. Correct? And when you see that, the same thing is there for Brahman, same thing is there for Atma. There here it is small RC, there it is big RC. That is why I call Paramatma. Here it is small RC, so I call Jivatma. Remove the Jiva, remove the Parama, both are only one Atma. And then Asi Pada Lakshyartha comes out. Mahavakya gets opened out like that only. Correct? Tvampada Lakshyartha, Tatpada Lakshyartha, and then Asipadam, what it is. And all this is called Shravanam. Properly doing it one by one, no shortcut. बीच में 2 क्लास बंक होने के बाद सीधा स्ट्रेट अवे 80 में आ गया तो प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगा. Unless you go back and learn the way slowly it was opened out. OC, RC क्या है, जीवात्मा क्या है, ये क्या है. Otherwise you'll have hundreds of confusion and questions. And all the questions are coming because of that today. I am very sure. If sequentially every class has been heard, written down, understood, question cannot come. Questions are coming because we have skipped. ये समझ में आ गया. I understood the gist. Let me learn the next. And this is where that Sampradaya teaching very, 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 very essential. Are we able to get this? One full class I have spent only in Sampradaya with teaching. That is why it is very important, and this thing a book can never give you. can never give you. Any questions, ask. Otherwise, we will continue.
Sir, I have got a question, sir.
Bisin, sir,
Hello.
let me complete the statement, then you ask. I
Okay.
agree you will ask a question, but let me complete my statement. So, I will complete the class after answering the questions, and then we will continue, because we have stopped at which particular? Brahmaikaksharam Arthyatam. That one word we are talking, don't forget that. That Brahma Eka Aksharam Arthyatam is Tattvamasi Vakyam, for which Tat, Tvam, Asi, Tat understood by Adhyaropa Apavada, Tvam understood by Anvaya Vyatireka, and Asi is removing the upadhis. Small upadhi, big upadhi, remove that. Nirupadhikam Ishwaram Brahmaiva Ahamasmi. Okay, and this is how that knowledge is slowly put in. Then there will be questions by the students. After logically understanding it a little, there will be many questions coming out, and by which Mananam starts. That we will see it in the next class. Now go ahead for the. Now whatever we told till now is Shravanam. Only Shravanam. Okay. Now ask your questions and then we can stop it today. Quickly. Yes, sir.
Sir, मुझको वो जो when we track down to the single cause, all the multiple causes are tracked down. Say, for example, you take trade and the gold or the metal. So we reach to the atom of the. So there are multiple causes. Then how we are reducing it to one single cause? वो मुझको समझ में नहीं आया.
No, don't go by this example alone. Now, finally, everything has got a substratum on which it is present, right? An atom. Okay, when you go by the atomic theory also, you have hydrogen, helium, you just add one electron, it is the same base on which one is being added. So gold is different. So finally that atom also has got the same substratum on which either the neutron, proton, electrons are keeping on changing. That's all. See, this is where our problem is. If we go with science as a background, we are got stuck here. For every effect, we are saying go to the cause. What could be the single cause? ये कहाँ से आया? Just ask that question. ये कहाँ से आया? If you want to ask that fiber, thread, cotton कहाँ से आया? Gold कहाँ से आया? दोनों धरती से आया?
Okay.
आगे आंसर. धरती कहाँ से आया? Ask, you have to logically ask that question. Don't wear your science ka chashma and look at the Shastra. It will be one of the biggest problems, because the area of science is drishta, the area of Shastra is adrishta. They both cannot be extended. Science can neither prove Shastra, Shastra can neither negate science. Both cannot happen. We should not do it.
Okay.
Respect both. वो गाड़ी का दो पटरी जैसा है.
साथ साथ चलेगा.
हाँ, साथ साथ चलेंगे. In between किधर मिले? मिला तो ठीक है, नहीं मिला तो ठीक है. Doesn't matter ना. That is a different faculty. It has its limitation. It has got its own way of working. Shastra has got its own way of working. A person who is a jnananishta, ekajnanena sarvajnanam bhavati, if it is said, that means after that jnananishta you go and tell them, please tell me how to solve a complex mathematical equation. You will say, what mathematics? So sarva vijnanam bhavati is not this mathematics we are referring to. He knows that visheshena jnana, which is that Brahman, is what he knows. So don't mix up these two things. Yeah. Any other question? Good. Chalo. Then we will continue next time. and we will get into Mananam. Okay, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and like that. Still there are 3 more shlokas. We have already completed 16-17 hours on this. I think we should now go quickly and not get into detail, and I will be able to do it only when I get responses. That just blank faces, I am forced to go back and explain again. Don't be with blank faces. No, there are serious studies when you all are doing. Seriously, you will know it. It's not that you don't know it. Just be connected and you will get it, right? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, evening we have got the regular puja, and tomorrow we will have Upanishad Ganga, and 6:30 we will get into Vishnu Sahasranamam tomorrow. Yeah, ciao. Otherwise the regular class is there tomorrow. Veda, Vedanta class, everything is there. Today class is there. All classes and all are there weekends. Ciao.